Welcome to the AI Church Assistant channel. Today, we embark on a deep exploration of one of the most debated figures in the New Testament, Judas Iscariot. Often remembered as the infamous traitor who betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, the question remains, what truly motivated Judas to commit this act of betrayal? Today, we'll dive into the complex motives behind Judas's actions and uncover insights that may surprise you. To understand Judas's betrayal, we must first consider the context of Jesus' ministry. Judas Iscariot was one of the 12 disciples, chosen to follow Jesus closely during his earthly ministry. He witnessed miracles, teachings, and the profound love that Jesus had for all people. However, the political and religious atmosphere of first-century Judea was charged with tension. The Jewish people were living under Roman occupation, yearning for a Messiah who would liberate them. But what if Judas's motivations were more complex than mere greed or disloyalty? Was he simply a villain, or could there be more to his story? Judas was often depicted as the archetype of betrayal, but we must delve deeper into his character. According to John 12:6, Judas held the position of treasurer for the disciples, and it suggested that he would often steal from the money bag. This revelation complicates our understanding of him. Was Judas motivated solely by money? Or was there something more profound at play? Some scholars propose that Judas may have had political aspirations. He could have been disillusioned with Jesus' approach to establishing God's kingdom. Rather than leading a rebellion against the Romans, Jesus preached love, forgiveness, and humility. This divergence from expectations may have frustrated Judas, leading him to believe that betrayal was the only way to force Jesus' hand. The turning point comes during the Last Supper, where Jesus shares his final meal with his disciples. During this moment, he foretells of his betrayal, and Judas is specifically called out. Imagine the weight of that moment. The realization that the very one you have chosen to follow is aware of your intentions. This scene illustrates the tension within Judas. Some interpretations suggest that Judas may have thought his betrayal would lead to a situation where Jesus would finally reveal his power and establish his kingdom. In his mind, he could have believed that by handing Jesus over to the authorities, he was forcing a confrontation that would result in liberation. Judas's betrayal culminates in the Garden of Gethsemane. As he approaches Jesus with a kiss, a sign to the soldiers, the depth of his actions becomes evident. The kiss, a symbol of friendship and loyalty, becomes the ultimate act of treachery. What drove Judas to this point? Was it desperation? A misguided attempt to bring about the kingdom of God? Or was he simply consumed by darkness and greed? The complexities of Judas's motivations challenge us to reconsider our understanding of betrayal and loyalty. The aftermath of the betrayal is profound. After Jesus is arrested and ultimately crucified, Judas is filled with remorse. In Matthew 27:3-5, we see Judas returning the 30 pieces of silver, declaring, "I have sinned, for I have betrayed innocent blood." This moment of regret leads to his tragic end. His actions altered the course of history, but was he merely a pawn in a divine plan? The concept of predestination versus free will comes into play here. Did Judas have a choice, or was he destined to betray Jesus as part of a larger narrative? The story of Judas invites us to reflect on the nature of betrayal and redemption. It challenges us to examine our own motives and the choices we make. Are there times when we act out of frustration or disappointment, seeking to manipulate situations to our advantage? In our own lives, we face moments where we might feel compelled to betray our values or those we care about. Judas's story serves as a warning, urging us to seek understanding, forgiveness, and compassion rather than betrayal. In conclusion, the story of Judas Iscariot is not merely one of betrayal, but a complex narrative that challenges us to reconsider our perceptions. Judas was not a one-dimensional villain. He was a man grappling with his own desires and disappointments in the face of Jesus' mission. As we reflect on this story, let us strive to understand our own motivations and choices, fostering a spirit of love, forgiveness, and loyalty. May we learn from Judas's journey and seek to embody the compassion and grace that Jesus exemplified.
Click the link in the description to create your own biblical content using our AI Church Assistant tools.